The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll call this regular council meeting of April 22nd to order. First of all, under presentations, we have none this evening. Could I have a motion, please, to adopt the agenda as presented? Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Walliser. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, ready for the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, could I have a motion, please, to accept the minutes of the council meeting held on April 8th? Councillor Vroba, seconded by Councillor Ford. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under original communications and petitions, we have the FCM membership for 24 and 25. What's the wish of council for this? The balance due is $3,068. Councillor Vroba.
Thank you, Worship. I'll just make a motion to accept and approve the report and pay the membership.
Okay, thank you. Have we got a seconder? Councillor Cernick, thank you. Any questions, comments at this time? Seeing none. Ready for, did you have a, Councillor Walliser, did you have a comment? No? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under original communications, delegations, and petitions, we have the GFL cart report for March. So the trash, the cart count, 11,856, total weight, 190,420, the average weight per cart, 1605. Recycle cart count 2,920, total weight 19,104, average weight per cart 6.54. Do we have a motion to accept the report? Thank you. Councillor Frank, seconded by Councillor Ford. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Ready for the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under written reports of committees, we have from the Southeast Transportation Planning Committee from March 26th. Could we have a motion, please, to accept that? Councillor Clark, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Walliser. Any comments you'd like to make, Councillor Clark?
Thanks, Your Worship. Just that meeting was just around budget time and just after, and it was clarified that they're going to begin stockpiling gravel for the Highway 18 West project that will be in 2025, and that project will go from Estevan to Outram. So good news for this part of the area, and it's good to see movement on that road. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be fantastic. We thank Minister Carr for her efforts in that regard. Okay, so did we have a seconder for that? Yes, Councillor Walliser, thank you. Ready for the question? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under executive reports, we have from our safety coordinator, Helen, City of Estevan violence policy. And Helen is here this evening. Thank you, Helen, for coming this evening. Okay, could we have a motion, please, to accept the violence policy? And then we can go over it if council has any questions, comments. Thank you. Councillor Frank, seconded by Councillor Cernick. Ready for the question? All in favor? Carried. Helen, thank you again. Any comments you'd like to make?
Just that the Saskatchewan Employment Act has required that all workplaces in Saskatchewan have a violence policy and a prevention plan by May 17th. So that is put forth with you. So that's the reason why it is, because we've been governed by legislation.
Appreciate that. Councillor Ford?
Thanks, Your Worship. We voted before I got a chance to add a correction to this. On page 3, under the management portion, it says citizens of Estevan may be banned for a period of time, and I just have a little concern with the citizens of Estevan portion, just because we have so many users that use our facilities that are from out of town, hockey teams, people who don't live in our city. Do we have an ability just to change it now that we voted on it, just to say people may be banned or something, as opposed
All
to just...
facility users? Would that work,
That
Your
would
Worship?
make me feel better.
All facility users?
Okay.
Because
Yes.
we do have a lot of hockey people that live out of town. That come
Absolutely.
and everything else. I'm not singling out hockey by any means, but just an example.
Nope. Yep, no, that's
Okay.
very good. Yeah, we can make that.
Okay, and if council's okay with that, we'll make that adjustment. Councillor Ford, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Helen, you're off the hook tonight.
Thank you very much. I can get to my next meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next, under executive reports, we have from Public Works, a traffic paint tender for 2024. City of Estevan uses oil-based paint for traffic lights, parking lots, handicap stalls, and has had success with longevity of this product. Sherwin-Williams paint has been used the past few years, and we are happy with the results and the longevity of the paint. Options, we had Cloverdale paint, $48,771. Sherwin-Williams, $667.85. That's a Pro-Mar line. And Sherwin-Williams, $49,947.05. Set Fast Lane. The recommendations are to use Sherwin-Williams Pro-Mar line, as we're happy with the product and it's most cost-effective and the lowest tender. Any other comments, Haley? Thank you for coming this evening. None? Okay, what's the wish of council? Councillor Vroba.
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, I would make the recommendation that we go with Sherwin-Williams for the $41,667.85 with the Pro-Mar line. But I just wanted to clarify for anyone that's actually listening and wondering about the paint situation. A lot of people have had concerns in the past that the paint doesn't stay on like it used to. And so just to clarify, we do have to meet all environmental standards with our paint. And so, yes, the paint does not last as long as it did maybe 25, 30 years ago. But we are definitely, we get inspected and we have to make sure we follow those guidelines. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think, Councillor Vroba, that's because the old paint had lots of lead in it and it stood up a lot better. But of course, nowadays we can't use all that lead. But Councillor Walliser.
Thank you, Your Worship. Will our crosswalk for Truth and Reconciliation be updated again this year? Thank you.
Okay. So do we, Councillor Ford?
Thanks, Your Worship. Just to add to that, I know we'd had some comments from the community around Remembrance Day last year about painting the poppies on this crosswalk. So maybe one day soon we could have the discussion of potentially changing the Truth and Reconciliation location, just so we can, it just makes more sense to keep the poppy one over here if we're going to do it. But City Manager, maybe we could discuss it one day soon.
City Manager?
Thank you, Councillor Ford. Yes, we can continue that discussion. It was noted last year you're not supposed to drive over a poppy. It's something, so the way the design is. So I know that was brought up last year when the discussion was there, but we can continue the discussion this year.
Okay. Okay, do we have a seconder for the paint? Councillor Ford. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, ready for the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Haley. Next, under executive reports, we have from engineering, a concrete and sidewalk tender for Perkins Street. Recommendations, tender ES 03-2024 Perkins Street 7th Ave to 4th Ave concrete sidewalk construction project be awarded to North Star Concrete Incorporated. Engineering Department recommends 1,500 millimeter wide sidewalk option for pedestrian safety purposes. Conclusion, the tender number ES 03-2024 Perkins Street, 2nd Ave to 4th Ave, concrete sidewalk construction project closed on 2:30 p.m. April 16th, 2024. Public tender bid opening took place shortly after the closing. Summary of the tender bids are as follows. North Star Concrete, 433 meter long concrete sidewalk. The option with 1,200 millimeter wide width, $177,391. Again, from North Star Concrete, 433-meter-long concrete sidewalk with the 1,500 millimeter width, $189,711. The proposed undertaking is to consist of construction of 433 meters of concrete sidewalk along the south side of Perkins Street, 2nd Ave to 4th Ave. As per the direction of council, tender document and pertinent drawings and specs was prepared by the engineering department for the tender. ES03 2024 Perkins Street, 7th Ave to 4th Ave concrete sidewalk construction project was issued on March 28, 24. Hard copies of the tender document were made available at City Hall for local contractors. Tender was posted at Sask Tenders and Marks. The tender closed on April 16, 2024. Communication, the City of Estevan is proposing to undertake a concrete sidewalk construction on Perkins Street, 2nd Ave to 4th Ave. The tender document stipulates the project is to start on May 15, 2024. Completion date is set for June 10, 2024. Upon council approval, tender ES03 2024 Engineering Department is to start making the following arrangements. Call for a pre-construction meeting followed by public notification. All pre-construction arrangements and meetings are to be completed prior to the start date. It is expected that the project will be completed on time. However, if more time than planned is required due to weather or other events, the schedule will be reset accordingly. Okay, what's the wish of council on this? Councillor Frank.
Thanks, Your Worship. I do appreciate the suggestion of, even though it's a little bit more money, the price difference is pretty minor to go to a wider sidewalk. I think that's a busy road, so I would make the motion to go ahead with that.
Exactly.
Wider
Thank
sidewalk.
you. And it'll
I think that
ensure
would be
more
safer.
safety for the pedestrians.
Definitely, and yeah, for the lifetime of that sidewalk, it's worthwhile to have the wider.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cernick? Okay, have we got a seconder? Councillor Vroba.
I was just curious, Haley, oh, Haley's gone? Yeah. I said no. What is the width right now of our regular sidewalk in Estevan?
Do you know, Councillor Clark?
I don't know what the regular ones, but the difference is the one is 4 feet wide and this one, 1,500 millimeter, is almost 5 feet. So I would think the older ones are 4 feet, but that must be the new standard is 5 feet.
Yeah, I think City Manager, that's a good analogy, so that's roughly what it is.
And so is it common that for a sidewalk tender that we'd only get the one company? I know we have worked with this company before.
Yeah, we've had good success with this company, but quite often we get 2 or 3 tenders, but again, in this particular case, 1.
Yeah, and I see that it was out for the right amount of time too, so I mean,
Yeah.
I had that question asked to me this weekend in an email, why one of our projects only had 1 tender, and I mean, the answer is whoever decides to bid on the tender is who bids, so yeah. No, I would second then that we go to the wider sidewalk.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it depends on the timing too. In some cases, if the construction season has already begun, they'll be busy on other projects, so you may not get as many tenders. Okay, any other comments, questions, observations? Seeing none, ready for the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, also under executive reports, we have from the city clerk, the petition has been received from the concerned citizens of Estevan. The purpose of this report is to provide information on a petition regarding the municipal commitment toward the downtown revitalization project for the city of Estevan. On April 9th, 2024, Mr. Greg Curtis, representing the concerned citizens of Estevan, delivered in person to the city clerk's office a petition of 163 pages. Council was made aware of the petition by email, and consultation with the city solicitor was initiated. The Cities Act provides authority for electors of a petition for referendum in Section 106(1). If a council receives a petition signed by the number of voters equal to 10% of the population of the city, requesting a referendum for a bylaw or a resolution on any matter within the jurisdiction, The council, pursuant to this act, the council should submit the request to a vote of the voters in a referendum held in accordance with this section and sections 107 and 112. 2. Only voters of the city are eligible to be petitioners. Section 110(1), if the city clerk reports to council that a petition for a referendum is sufficient, the council shall take any steps that it considers necessary to submit to the voters a bylaw or resolution in accordance with the request of the petitioners. Number 2, if a petition is filed with the clerk, A, on or before July 1st in any year in which a general election is held, the council shall submit the bylaw or resolution to the voters before the end of that year. B, at any other time, the council shall submit the bylaw or resolution to the voters within 9 months after the petition is filed. Number 3, the wording of the draft bylaw or resolution as it will appear on the ballot must be set by council at least 8 weeks before the vote. The petition received will need to comply with 10% of the population, and according to the latest Statistics Canada census figures, the City of Estevan population is 10,851. Recommendation, as this petition has been received, the council to delegate authority on moving forward with the petition that has been presented, asking for the city clerk to report on sufficiency. So we would appreciate a vote, support from council, a motion to move the city clerk to check out the sufficiency of this petition. Councillor Walliser.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, thank you. Have we got a seconder? Okay, Councillor Cernick. Okay, any further questions, comments? Seeing none. Ready for the vote? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under executive reports, we have the fire chief's reports for January, February, March. Would you like a different motion, City Clerk, for each one, or can we put them all together? We can? Okay. If we could have a vote on that, Councillor Clark. Thank you. You'll make that motion? Okay. Councillor Ford will second. Okay. Any comments? Okay. Seeing none. Ready for the vote? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Under introduction of bylaws this evening, we have none. Public hearings and reports, we have none this evening. Giving notice, we have the United Way proclamation, May 29th, 2024, Day of Caring. We'd like to bring forward also the request consideration of Saskatchewan Association of Naturopathic Doctors proclamation and the request. I guess we'll do this one at a time. So what's council's wish on the United Way proclamation, May 29th, 2024, Day of Caring? And we have some good-looking United Way members stepping up to the plate. Mark, Wendy, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Your Worship, and Estevan City Council. Thank you for inviting us here to make our presentation tonight. So as you have said already, we have a very exciting day coming up on May 29th here in the city, and it's our annual Day of Caring. And just for those of you, you probably all know what it's all about, but I'll just give you a brief little story on what it's about, and that is that it's a day where we help those in the community that need help, that need a little extra help. And so it's a way of giving back in the community. It's also a way for us to give of ourselves and be able to help those that are in need. It's a good time for everyone to come together. We were having a little discussion as to how many years it is. And we think it's somewhere between 13 and 16. Our records maybe aren't so great. Anyways, it's just been gaining momentum every year, and we have people calling and asking when our United Way Day of Caring is, because people love to be involved. And not just in receiving the help, but being involved. Companies, businesses like to come send their employees for the day, and it becomes a real great time to assist those in the community that need help. And things like window washing, painting, digging up flower beds. We have sunshine baskets for people that maybe need a little visit, and sometimes that's all the people even really want when we go to do the yard work, is just to spend some time with people. So it's a really nice time for us. Our member agencies volunteer. We just have a lot of volunteers, and we get a lot of projects, so we like to know who would like to volunteer and how many projects by the 15th of May. That way we can get together and then we partner up our volunteers with the projects so that everything runs smooth. We have a barbecue at dinner time, and so it's just been a well-attended event, and I just encourage anyone. We've brought some posters. We'll leave some here if anybody wants to pick up and take. It's just a really good way to be a part of the community and give back. And there have been so many people that have supported us in the United Way. Mark, do you have anything else to say?
We're just we're just thankful for the support of the city, both in the terms of the city council, but also the members of the city and the community who come out and help people who otherwise maybe wouldn't be able to do some of these projects and jobs around their house. And it's been a really good thing to add to the city of Estevan.
It really has, yeah. And we're very grateful for your support.
Yes, and thank you so much. And it is a great day and a great event, and we can't thank the United Way enough for the giving of their time and making all of these people so happy. And when you give like that, the giving comes from within, and it makes yourselves feel good as well. And we really do appreciate that. Thank you. Councillor Vroma.
Thank you, Your Worship. So a side note, Wendy and I are actually co-chairs on this committee, so I'm very proud to serve with my friend Wendy on this. It's actually been at least 16 years for Day of Caring, because I used to work at home care with my friend Wendy, and I've been at Creighton Lodge for 14 years now, and we've always been a member agency, so we've always participated in Day of Caring, and back in the home care days, you were always involved before I was. So yeah, I remember. So I think you're probably closing in on your 17th or 18th Day of Caring. So yeah,
Let's not talk about
to
how
say
many
your
years
age,
we've
but
been a little nervous.
But who's counting?
yeah,
Right?
Nobody's counting.
And so I think even if there are city employees or somebody that we could even encourage to volunteer and participate. I mean, there's so many great things, and especially getting involved in Day of Caring, once you get to see the smiles on the faces of the people you interact with, you will be amazed at how many people in this community just need somebody to stop by and interact with them and be a little portion of joy to their life. So thank you for all that you do. But I would make that motion that we support this.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Vroma. Councillor Frank, then Councillor Ford.
Thanks, Worship. I would second it. And 2008 was the first one I just pulled up.
Good, thank you.
Being the record keeper of United Way for 20 years. So,
Okay, thank you.
so I would make that as a second it, and congratulations and good luck on all the hard
Okay,
work.
thank you. Councillor Ford.
Thanks, Your Worship. And just to add too, if there's people who want to volunteer but maybe physically cannot help volunteer, go visit somebody, go to Creighton Lodge, go to the nursing home, wherever you're able to, just go visit a friend, go spend some time with people and just brighten people's day is all I have to say.
Okay, super. So are we ready for the question? All in favor? Carried. There you go. And thank you all so much again for coming this evening and for doing what you do within our community to make our community a better place. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Okay. And I'll read this proclamation and then I'll sign it. United Way Day of Caring. United Way Day of Caring is a full day of people helping people and giving back to the community. Whereas United Way assigns local volunteers to local projects to make a difference where we live. And whereas United Way Estevan's Day of Caring organizes teams of volunteers to make significant positive impact in our community, assisting local individuals and nonprofit agencies to complete projects in the spirit of caring. Be it therefore resolved, I, Roy Ledwick, Mayor of the City of Estevan, in the province of Saskatchewan, do hereby proclaim May 29th, 2024 as Estevan Day of Caring, and urge all citizens of Estevan to recognize and support the goals and objectives of United Way Estevan. There we go. Okay, there's one copy. Thank you. Oh, you're more than welcome to stay, but we do understand. You have, oh, hockey game on. Okay. Have fun. Thanks. Thanks, City Clerk. Okay, next, under giving notice, we have request consideration of Saskatchewan Association of Naturopathic Doctors proclamation. What's the wish of council on that? Councillor Walliser.
Thank you, Your Worship. A couple follow-up questions. Part of our policy governing proclamations indicates that the person making the request must attend in person to be able to answer questions. Is this individual planning to attend a future meeting?
City Clerk.
Your Worship, to Councillor Walliser, I clarified that they would have to be present if this was granted, and they said yes, they would have someone here present.
Okay. And my second concern is that per the policy, the wording of the proclamation must also be provided. Is that in advance of granting the request, or is that prior to the proclamation being made?
Your Worship, to Councillor Walliser, that's before the proclamation is made to the floor. So I did not put it into the council package so that it wouldn't look like we're proclaiming it.
As long as they're compliant, which it appears they are, then I would make the recommendation that we proceed with this request.
Okay, you'll make the motion. Okay, thank you. Have we got a seconder? Okay, Councillor Clark. Okay, any further comments, questions? Seeing none. Ready for the question? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And the third one, request consideration of Envision Counseling Victims and Survivors of Crime Week proclamation. Councillor Walliser.
The same follow-up questions, Your Worship. Will they attend in person and provide the wording in advance?
They told City Clerk they would. Yeah.
I'll make the motion for approval.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Vroba, you'll second. Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, ready for the question? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, next, motions from committee this evening. We have none. Consideration of bylaws. We have none this evening. Inquiries. Councillor Vroba.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have kind of a few tonight. So I attended an educational at the University of Regina for the MLDP Strategic Communication course. Very interesting. I would recommend all council members or anyone else that feels the need to take that course to take it. It was 8 hours well spent. The other thing I attended in Regina after that was the SUMA convention, the annual SUMA convention. I thought that was also very well done this year. Basically, there was a SAMA assessment educational portion of it, and I thought that was really interesting, and we did express that cities like Estevan would like to see us go on a 2-year assessment instead of the 4-year, especially with the boom and bust. They said that they would take that back, and so that's good. And that's something that SUMA will do for us too, is advocate for things that we ask for. So
that's right.
I'm hoping that's on there. The other thing was going to the city's meeting and listening and hearing about all of the other issues that the other cities in the province are dealing with. And a lot are dealing with homelessness, addiction, things like that in their communities. So again, Estevan doesn't have that happening in a large amount right now, but we definitely have, maybe not the homelessness in large amount, but we definitely have the addictions portion. And that's going to be hopefully dealt with our new committee that we started. Councillor Ford is also on that committee. And basically that will be our safety and well-being committee. So that is something we're working on. We've actually just had our first meeting last month, and this Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. That's an early morning meeting, but we will have that second meeting and get that started so that the ball is rolling. And we're hoping the federal government or provincial government funded that as a startup for the first 4 months that we got it going. And now we're kind of on our own, but we're going to start looking for grants and start hoping that we get some funding. The other thing was SUMA. I went to a speed networking seminar, kind of thing. It was about an hour long. At first, I wasn't sure about it, but it was really interesting. You got to network with a bunch of different communities, hear what their problems are, but also hear what their solutions were, and the way they funded different projects. So it was really interesting, and we also I got a lot of contact information out of that. So I was very impressed, and I recommended to Suma they do it again next year and maybe do it even as 2 times, because I think having it just the one night wasn't enough for enough people to get involved, but highly recommend that. And then the other thing is a huge thank you to Erin Wilson and her leisure services staff, because the Power Dodge rink, curling rink, was ready for the event that we showed up on Friday to get set up. We had 420 people at the Creighton Lodge fundraiser on Saturday night. I'm thinking we raised somewhere between 65 and 70,000. So thank you to everybody who attended and everyone that volunteered, and just a huge thank you to the community for supporting Creighton Lodge. So that was very nice. So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just had one more thing. I got a lot of emails in this last week or so, and some of them did not include a name or a phone number or an address. And so without that, I really can't respond to the information that's being requested. And the reason is, I represent the citizens of Estevan. I don't represent the citizens of Bean Fate or surrounding areas or Regina or Saskatoon or anywhere else. So some people may be offended if I don't respond with the information they requested, and I ask for their actual personal information. But just so people are aware, I just need to make sure that I'm representing someone from the city of Estevan. So.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Roba, for that. Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Your Worship. Of course, just a big shout out to Shelley and the that she does for that Creighton Lodge fundraiser and all the time she puts into that. So what job well done, Shelley, and I know we'll see that again next year, and it'll be bigger and better every year. A couple of things going on in town, and I'm not sure if anybody's going to mention this one, but tomorrow night at the Legion they have Jake Vadaland and the Sturgeon River Boys are playing there tomorrow night, kind of a blues band. So anybody that can make that, it'll be a great entertainment for the Arts Council. And Epic is having their cornhole tournament this Saturday, and I believe my partner Tony Cernick, we are guaranteeing that we'll try the 50-50, but we'll probably lose at cornhole. It is a big day for them, big fundraiser, so hopefully everybody can participate in that one. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Councillor Clark. Councillor Walliser.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing tonight.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ford.
Thanks, Your Worship. As Councillor Verba noted, we attended SUMA this past week. It was a really great conference to go to. We got to network with a lot of people and a lot of communities. I attended a policing, justice, safety meeting with some of the provincial ministers, and it was really interesting to hear some of the questions that came out of the rest of the province on funding and how some of the northern communities are dealing with some of their issues versus our issues. So it was a really, really productive week for us. On Friday, I also attended Rotary's 100th anniversary celebration, and congratulations to the Rotary Club of Estevan for 100 years. It's a pretty big feat in any day and age, really. But
absolutely,
it was a really great event to attend and a really good time to see a lot of former Rotary members and just catch up with people. And then just a reminder that they are sold out, but on Thursday, May 2nd is the Women of Distinction Awards, and in the past couple of weeks, all the nominees were announced. So I just want to give a big congratulations to all of those who were announced. And at the end of the day, and in my opinion, it's really not about the winner; it's about all the strong women who are really making a big difference in this community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, that'll be a good event as well. Councillor Cernick.
Nothing tonight, Your Worship. Just getting that cornhole arm all stretched up.
You'll be lifting weights for a few days. Get ready. Okay, Councillor Frank.
Thanks, Your Worship. Yeah, I had the opportunity to attend a number of events this last few weeks. Source Valley Theatre had their murder mystery night down at Granby's, which was a great success and a lot of fun. So something we'll be doing again, and just a great way to raise awareness of the theatre, which has its plays coming up this summer. Rotary Club as well. I got to attend and speak on your behalf for the Rotary Club. So we're very grateful to have had them for 100 years and reflect on, as I kind of said in my greetings, was if you looked around the community, you wouldn't look very far to see their logo and would be pretty shocked to see what we would be missing if we didn't have Rotary. So thanks to them.
Absolutely.
And then, yes, got to support the Creighton Lodge fundraiser on the weekend as well, which was just a great success and a lot of fun. So thanks to all of the hardworking people at that and to everybody who came out and supported and donated. And now we can get to work on our new kitchen at Creighton Lodge. So we're very excited about that.
Good stuff. Okay, thank you, Councillor Frank. City Manager, anything this evening? Our City Treasurer is on holidays. City Clerk, anything?
Nothing in addition.
Okay, having said that, do we have a motion to move into committee? Thank you, Councillor Vroba, seconded by Councillor Cernick. All in favor? Carried. Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today